Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me, Jewel Maxwell, JP Maxwell. I have extremely important information for you if you're crossing borders with $10,000 in currency or gold bullions or gold or silver. You need to know, first of all, that the difference, okay, between financial assets, monetary assets, and financial assets. Monetary assets are actually a debt. Okay, so paper money, US currency, Canadian currency, Australian currency, when you leave the country with that, that's what they want to know about. They want to know that you're taking debt out of the country. Because if you can imagine just what happened with Zimbabwe, if you can imagine if, I myself in Canada, if there was millions of people here with Zimbabwe dollars and they become, totally useless and devalued, it ruins our economy. So imagine if I left Canada with $1 million in currency, which actually says promissory note, please pay back to the person that it is owed, the lender, which is Canada. They don't like you taking that currency out of Canada or US out of the US. That's the whole point. Remember, monetary means debt. Financial assets are assets that don't have a debt attached to them, like bullion or any kind of gold or silver, palladium, precious metals, right? And you don't want to be calling these coins. These are rounds, people. So biggest point right there. And then when you go across the border, this says, it has a $50 value, face value for it. If they want to know, usually they do not want to know that they don't care. They want to know about debt. This is an asset. But if they want to know, you say it's $50. You don't tell them that it's going for $13.92 today. You don't want to tell them this is worth $1,300 or whatever it's going to be worth by the time you watch this video. You tell them it's worth. They only want to hear what you tell them, which is $50, which is true. That's what it says. Okay. Otherwise, you do not have to claim this. Now, I got a really good tip from Jason Gibb, actually, that he has no problem claiming these when he goes over the border because he likes having receipts. So now, if I leave Canada, go into the US, or I fly to Cuba, or I fly to Europe or anywhere, I actually want to claim these and say, you know what, I've actually got 10 of these, and they don't care. They're not going to tax me or anything on it because it's an asset. So but the fact that I have a receipt means when I come back in, I can get 10 more because I had 10 in the first place. So it's actually a good thing to have receipts, and they're not harmful. It's not illegal not to claim. It's not illegal to claim. Anyway, you're not going to be hurt in that sense. But what I want to let you know is you can either claim the $50 face value or not claim it, because it doesn't matter. It's not a monetary asset. It's a financial asset. So you have to know the difference between there. Monetary is debt. That's the paper money, which can be devalued at any moment and needs to go back to the lender, to the government, to the owner, whoever it may be. And the bullions and silver and golds, especially non-government issued, are an asset. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. Now, when you get something shipped to you, you're going to actually want a statement on there saying, now if you want this statement, please just email me, Twitter me, text me, send me a quick note, I'll give it to you. But it says, for duty purposes, this material is HTS classification number blah, duty free. For GST purposes, that's Canada, this material is classified as a non-taxable imported good. Please refer to the Excise Tax Act. Okay, and then it has a bit more here, and that means it's duty and exempt free. So whenever you're getting your, I don't care what company you're in or how you're buying this gold and silver, if you are, have numismatic coins, this is MS 69 from ISN, if you have these coins that you're collecting or the rounds, okay, then you want to put this on your duty free. You don't want to, and you don't even want to announce that it's precious metals. Okay, so I mean you can if you want, but this is definitely tax and duty free exempt. So hopefully that helps. Again, the $10,000 rule for Canada, and depending on what border you go over, so if you're going over to Dubai, South Africa, Australia, definitely know what that equivalent is for $10,000. Applies to monetary instruments. Gold and silver bullion are not considered monetary, so make sure you're clear on that. Just going through here, again, call them rounds, and make sure you're aware of the laws when you're going over. But it's really quite funny that the government doesn't consider, they don't even care if you have, you know, 100 of these. So hopefully that's really good information for you. I've got a couple more tax tips if you want to email me little nuggets. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll see you soon. isncoinssilver.com. Bye for now.